Hello, I'm Leo Brown. This is the What If It Is True podcast as we take a look at our gospel reading and we try to find that virtue. And here we are, Holy Week, Holy Thursday, taking a look at this passage from the Gospel of John 13, 1 through 15. And this is certainly known to us as Catholics very well, as every Thursday of Holy Week we experience this foot washing, which is, of course, reflective of that first experience with the Eucharist, where Christ clearly asks of those, and especially St. Peter, who asked for his, not just his feet, but for everything to be cleaned, says, basically this is what you're supposed to do for others, right? And I think that it's interesting that in this passage from John, we see something we don't see in any of the other Gospels, right? We kind of know that there's a theme, if you will, of familiarity, similarity between what we call the synoptics, those that are somewhat synonymous with one another. There are differences, but a lot of the same stories over and over again, and Matthew, Mark, and Luke. But then John just kind of turns things on its ear in very different interpretations at times, and this is certainly one of them. And so I think it's, as far as virtue to come from this, it has to really come down to the virtue of service, right? What can we do for others, especially what can we do that we don't necessarily want to do, right? Nobody wants to wash someone's feet. That's not a even remotely seemingly dignified thing to do, but it's about what can we do to humble ourselves to the point to say, you know what? It's not about me. It's not about me. I'm going to be led through this. I'm going to trust that whatever it is that I'm doing is because I'm being called to do it. And it's a very humbling place to consider being. And I'm sure certainly the apostles were really kind of taken aback by this whole experience, obviously, right? I mean, an account here. It's recounted. But what's interesting, like I say, we get it from John and nowhere else, but it's uh, a beautiful illustration of what we're called to do. And of course, the institution of the priesthood as well through this. And, that's their primary role, but that doesn't mean just because they're called to that, we're not, right? We're all, as Christ followers, called to perform those services, right? To be of service, to be there, denying ourselves, not denying Christ, right? Find out more about What If It Is True. Visit us online at realliferadio.com. We stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the Lexington, Kentucky and surrounding areas. 94.9 FM, 1380 AM is where you can find us. And the companion blog at whatifitisTrue, reallife.blogspot.com. I'm Leo Brown. This is the What If It Is True podcast. God bless.